A pretty slow trading day, but I wanted to make sure that I kept you guys up to date with what was going on. What's going on, guys? It's Ricky. Hope that you guys learned something new, and if you do, please consider dropping a thumbs up and subscribing if you feel like we earned it. So the first thing that I want to talk about is Boeing. Boeing stock is down 4.5% following the news of the unfortunate Air India Boeing 787-8 crash near, I don't know how to pronounce that, on June 12th, 2025. This is where 244 people were on board, and this is confirmed by multiple sources. There's actually a video where it shows it taking off and then it kind of losing altitude and then unfortunately crashing. Supposedly there was like one survivor. I don't know if that is actually true, but it shows like a victim pretty much walking away from the rubble and pretty torn up. But a lot of other sources are saying that everyone in the plane died, which again, with the explosion, wouldn't be much of a surprise. But based off of that news, it's acting as a negative catalyst for Boeing. Boeing has gone through a number of these, right? It has eventually recovered. So if you see this as a dip by opportunity, it's a weird way to think about it, and I get it. If morally you can't do it because of what happened and how it happened, and you just don't want to profit off of it, I respect that. I mean, I don't personally plan to trade it myself either. I just, again, I'm here to talk about potential opportunities, and some people see it as that, right? It's unfortunate news. It acted as a negative catalyst. But altogether, is it going to be the end of Boeing? No, not necessarily. I mean, an investigation might be sparked to see what caused the crash. And if it's not Boeing's fault, then the stock should ultimately end up recovering. Boeing has been trading pretty well from lows of 128 to overall highs of 220, but it is a little bit on the overbought side, just something to take into consideration. One stock that I'm super happy to see that is crashing, absolutely tanking today, is GME. We've talked about this bullshit company over and over again. Again, I want to get the same people that commented on my video a few weeks ago when I talked about GameStop as it pushed up to highs of $37. I made it very clear. GameStop is a pump and dump, right? The only reason it's ever become popular and the only reason it's ever pumped up is because of these Reddit traders that came together to drive the stock price up, right? And anytime Roaring Kitty sends out a message, it brings a lot of hype and attention. A lot of you guys have seen the madness that's been happening with the stock. It's trying to do anything to fabricate, more demand. And when it pushed up, I made it very clear, hey, I don't know when and I don't know how long, but I know eventually GameStop will come correcting down, right? It's not an opinion, it's a fact at this point. It's great at pumping and it's great at dumping. Every single time that it pumps, it always dumps. That's what it's known for. It's not rocket science, it's just taking previous patterns into consideration. So again, just as quick as it pumped up to highs of $37, now it's right back down to $21, losing, if I'm not mistaken, 40%, nearly 50% of its value in just 2 weeks of trading. This is a great reminder of never being afraid to take profits when, again, a pump begins to present itself, and never holding one of these pump and dumps because they're always going to be short-lived, correcting itself all the way back down to $20 per share. And for those that didn't see the news, GameStop shares tank 20% as retail reveals convertible debt offering, which again, it's trying to mimic the same thing that MSTR is doing, and trading card plan. So to announce a $1.75 billion convertible note offering, so pretty much just diluting its current investors, which is making their stock even less valuable. Plain and simple, right? I don't care about how much money they're going to have on their balance sheet when they're ruining it for their actual investors and diluting them. They're just trying to enrich themselves by diluting their current investors. The same thing with MSTR, right? We also did talk about this. This was shared on my social media where breaking Elon confirms public robo-taxi launch is going to be on June 22nd. We'll see if it actually happens. And I'll just make sure that I keep you guys up to date. The other thing that I wanted to make sure that you guys were aware is that Treasury Secretary Bessent says that if the debt limit is not resolved, which again, that can be done with cutting rates or just not adding more to our deficit, it could trigger the biggest financial crisis since 2008. And again, I think this is a much more pressing issue. But again, our country is notorious for just printing money out of thin air and lowering rates when it is that it is needed. And at least as of right now, the Fed has no intention of cutting rates anytime soon. According to the Fed rate monitor tool, there's a 97.4% probability that the Federal Reserve is going to pause once again, and a 2.6% probability that the Federal Reserve is going to cut. So again, an incredibly low probability that the Federal Reserve is going to cut. There was also an update on what has happened with all the ICE raids, pretty much stating that a lot of these jobs, from farmers to hotel and leisure businesses, have been stating that our very aggressive policy on immigration is taking very good and long time for workers, or taking very good and long time workers away from them. So pretty much he is stating that changes are coming and that this is not good, that we will protect our farmers but get the criminals out of the US. So it seems like maybe some changes are going to be made in the way that people are being deported, or at least, you know, investigated before they are actually being deported, and making sure that they are removing the right people out of this country that are committing crimes versus those that are not. So again, just something to take into consideration. I also wanted to update you guys on a position that I just took. First, I closed out a position on Tesla. I made $2,200 on this one, and it's still selling off. So this one was an active short, and it looks like it's making lower lows and lower highs as of right now. So looks like this is actually showing more signs of progress. But this is one that I just opened. Nvidia is becoming incredibly overbought, just like the NASDAQ market, and it tends to have a pretty common resistance range at these previous levels. Let me make this very clear. Just because I take a short does not mean that you need to. I've been wrong many times. I do not want you to copy me. I'm not like MSTR traders. I'm not like GameStop traders. I am not here to convince you that you need to take the same trades that I'm taking. I actually prefer you not to. I'm just here to share with you because I like talking about what it is that I'm trading, both good and bad, right? But with Nvidia, I see it to be overbought, testing a previous resistance range, and I see some decent pullback potential. Nothing crazy, but I believe markets are overbought, and I believe that markets can be due for a little bit of a pullback. I took a small position on this, much larger than I thought. A $370,000 position shorting Nvidia. I'll probably reduce that position a little bit. I actually thought my position was right around 200,000, not 370,000. So I must have mistaken the number of shares I've purchased, but I literally just opened it. So I'm pretty much break even right now. I'm waiting for confirmation of a sell-off. I wanted to add more if it broke below the EMA, but at this point, I'm already pretty aggressively in that position. So I'll just do my part in keeping you guys up to date. Again, overbought reversal. If it makes new highs, I'll cut losses on it. If it makes new lows, my intention was to add more, but at this point, I'll probably just hold and not add much more. I'll probably maybe get closer to 500,000 when it comes down to the full on short, and see if we can see some progress on the downside. So again, I'll just do my part in keeping you guys up to date. If you guys follow me on Instagram, that's where I'll be most likely posting the updates, or just wait for today's later video on YouTube. So I appreciate you guys' time. I hope that earned a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. And again, I trade live every single morning. You get to see all of my good trades, all of my bad trades, and you get all of my trade updates. If you ever want access to this, again, to learn more about it, second link in the description down below. You can join for as little as $1.35 a day is what it breaks down to with the current sale we have going on. It's a one-time payment, lifetime access, and the second link down below. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.